So I'm Matt Jones. I'm part of the North Star Real Estate Conference, which is under the North Star Unlimited brand. And I wrote the book about real estate, which covers various different other books about real estate that kind of summarizes them and gives you the nuts and bolts of a bunch of different types of real estate investing that you can decide upon. But this is part of our monthly workshop series to give you an idea of the value that you can get out of the North Star Real Estate Conference, which is going to be coming up. Our next one is October 7th and 8th, and it's going to be live in the Twin Cities. And right now, the prices are the lowest they're ever going to be. So if you're thinking about it, you got to sign up now because just in a couple days, actually, and I think tomorrow we're going to be upping the price. So if you want these low prices that you can see on the screen, go to northstarunlimited.live today and sign up just so you can lock those in. And then our next workshop is going to be next month on August 26th, and it's going to feature Matt Bronner talking about asset management tips and tricks. But today we've got Stephen Pesavento, superstar syndicator, here to talk to us about how to get started in real estate syndication, even if you don't have money or necessarily experience yourself. And all right, Stephen, why don't you take it away?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I've got my screen sharing here. Y'all can confirm that you can see this slide up on the screen. So we'll get started here in just a second. Of course, my name's Stephen Pesavento. Look forward to being able to talk through real estate syndication with you guys. Very excited because this is a topic that has made a huge impact in my life. I know it can make a huge impact in yours. And so we're going to be talking about today is how to get started in syndications, how to receive cash flow, tax deductions, and equity growth, all regardless of whether you have experience in real estate syndication up until now. So today you're going to learn how to create cash flow, income, long-term wealth, and reduce your taxes. And you're gonna be able to do that all at the same time. You're gonna do that all through real estate syndication. And this is one of the best parts of investing in real estate is that it's one of the few asset classes that you can create cash flow, that you can truly build your net worth through equity gain, and that you can take advantage of the tax incentives that are out there that are built in for real estate investors and for getting started in the real estate world. So, let me know in the chat, are you somebody who is actively investing in real estate yourself? Are you, have you invested in real estate? I want to know kind of like where we're starting from, where the rest of folks are, and what that looks like. So I'm seeing some things come in. I'm seeing active and passive. I'm seeing some other comments here. Well, great. Well, it's a great time to get started in real estate. And one of the reasons that it's such a great time to get started is that the U.S. housing market needs over 5.5 million more units in order to keep up with the current demand. So where is this coming from and what does this mean? Well, at the core, where it's coming from is that for the last 10 years, we've produced 272,000 less homes than we had during the previous 10 and 20-year cycles. Why is that? Well, a big reason for that happening is that during the 2008 crash, builders were hurt pretty bad. There was not a lot of support for builders, and a lot of those builders went out of business or they were sucked up into larger corporations, the larger publicly traded builders, and those folks have just frankly built less houses. They've taken on less risk, and therefore there's a huge need. And there's a huge need across the board from apartments all the way through single family. And we don't expect that need to really hold up or pull back at all. So it's a great time to get started in real estate. There's a huge growing demand. There's a need for housing. Is really what's driving and creating this opportunity. And the fact that people are migrating and relocating across the country into some of these different areas, these different zones. And so savvy investors are focused on investing in growing markets, understanding where are people living right now? Where are people going to be living in the future? And how are those migration patterns happening? So one thing that is key to real estate is that rents go up during inflationary times so that you make more money, and properties values go up during inflationary times. So you grow your net worth, and debt is less relative to property value. And so all of this ends up leading to growth. And we're seeing that rents are rising at historic levels. We're seeing that apartment rents have reached new highs in June. And when your cash flow and equity goes up, your risk goes down. And it's perfect for uncertain times like this. It's perfect to be investing in real estate when we're in inflationary times, because real estate is a natural born hedge against inflation. Property values go up with inflation simply because rents increase, and value is the denomination of rent. The way that commercial property, that multifamily property, that real estate, income producing real estate is valued is based on a denomination of rent. And so value is based on cash flow, and it's called NOI. So NOI is net operating income. It's a fancy term for kind of high level profit. Doesn't include debt service, doesn't include all the things that are on the bottom line, but it's that high level profit. And so as cash flow increases because rents have increased, because the amount of debt relative to the money that you're taking in every single month has decreased, you're actually in a much better position. And so this is one of the reasons that people like real estate, but they like real estate also because it's tangible, it's stable, it's useful, and everyone needs some place to live. Housing is a fundamental need. It's a fundamental necessity. And it's one of the reasons that you can rely on it. So I'm going to pause here. I want to introduce myself. My name's Stephen Pesavento. I am the host of the Investor Mindset Show. It's one of the top 200 most popular investing podcasts, where we really dive into the mindset of successful investors, how to get started investing, how to get started passively investing, and how to really be able to create that financial freedom and future. My background is when I was a kid growing up, I wanted to either be a chef like Emeril Lagasse or I wanted to renovate houses like Bob Vila. And after a career in management consulting and technology, all of that HGTV paid off because I started flipping houses. I flipped over 75 houses my first year, over 200 within 3. And then I transitioned into commercial real estate, into multifamily, specifically because I saw the advantage that real estate syndication offers to my investors, to my team, and to the ability to leverage the power of partnership, which we're going to be talking about shortly. And all of that led to, raising tens of millions of dollars and acquiring a significant number of assets. Now, do people in the industry have a lot more experience than me? Of course. And that's one of the things that I love about this industry is you can really align your interests with great people. Outside of focusing most of my effort on real estate and creating, I love to be able to serve as a high performance coach. I work with a number of up and coming real estate entrepreneurs, executives, creatives, people who are looking to make big change happen in their life. And they want to understand how they can go from where they are to where they want to be. And I help unlock some of that potential, really help people make more money and really live a more fulfilling life. And I get a ton of enjoyment out of it, applying some of these skills and strategies that I've learned and some of the mentors that I've worked with along the way. So y'all can find out more about the Investor Mindset podcast. You can find out more about the type of investments that we do, and you can get access to some of the great resources that we have available. You can do that right over at investormindset.com. So you guys can just head over there and grab any resource that we have. So the question that I often get when it comes to meeting new prospective real estate investors, whether those be people who are looking to invest passively and are busy making a lot of money in their job and they're really looking to be hands off, or when I meet people who are looking to make this their career, people who want to be more active, who need that feeling of control, who have experience and expertise that are going to lead to creating that value. It all starts with understanding where you get started. And so the first thing that you need to do in order to get started is first, you've got to get clear on what your vision is and what the purpose is behind that vision. So what does that mean? Well, your vision is what you want and your purpose is why you want it. So you got to get first clear on what you want when it comes to investing in real estate, when it comes to real estate syndication, and you understand why you want it. So what you want is your vision. It's specifically what that is life is going to look like as a real estate investor or a real estate syndicator or operator. So most people that I'm talking to at real estate investor events or new investors that I'm speaking with as we're onboarding them into Von Finch and talking about new opportunities we have, a lot of folks are working from a very high level view of what they want, that high level view of that vision. Now, if you're on the passive side, maybe you're thinking, hey, I want to create some more income. I want to offset some of the active income that I'm making. I want to take all this money that I'm making that I have in my bank account that I'm just sitting on, and I want to figure out, hey, how can I make it work for me so that I can have that optionality of being free? Or maybe you're somebody who has that same feeling, but you really want to turn this into your career. Those are two very different paths. We're going to talk about each of those paths in just a second. But that vision is critical to get clear with first. And you got to do that either working yourself, either working with a coach, working with a mentor, but you need to start flushing out what that is going to look like. And because the way that the way that this is broken down, what you want is the picture of that destination. Why you want it is the fuel. It's the driver behind that. So if you're someone who's looking to create more optionality, more freedom, and you want to be able to, not focus on work, you want to spend more time with your family, the why behind that is the driver. The why is the purpose for why you want that freedom. So maybe it's you want to spend more time with your family. Maybe that purpose behind wanting that more freedom is you want to have more fulfillment in the work that you do. You want to have more fulfillment in being able to deliver value. Maybe you want to enjoy your career more. You see how each of these can end up leading you to a different destination, and it's going to slightly change the what that you're thinking about. So as we go down this path of getting more clear, of really taking that time to ask ourselves, why is this important to us? Well, why is that important to us? And why is that important to us? As we keep going down the line, we keep making it more simple, and it actually starts making that what more clear. Why is this so important? Well, because when I got started in real estate, my what was I want to be a real estate investor. Well, why do I want that? Well, I want to be able to create an income and prove to myself that I can create an income in real estate and be able to have success to prove to myself that I can do that. Well, why do I want that? Well, I want to be able to create an income in this space. Well, why do I want that? At the core, the true why was I wanted to create passive income to have the freedom and flexibility to do what I want when I want it. However, I stopped a couple notches short, and I ended up building a business around flipping houses. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's truly an active business that requires you to be in that business every single day, every single moment. Now, when I stepped back after flipping 200 houses and I started asking myself, what do I want and why do I want it? I started seeing that it wasn't going to be in alignment with the business that I wanted to be running in 20 years, the business that I wanted to be running as I build a family and start to really serve people in my community. I wanted to have more optionality of being able to spend that time differently. And so it ended up leading me to a totally different place. And this is why it's critically important to do this stuff up front and to work through the process with professional support with your friends, your family, your coaches, your mentors, your partners, so that you can build a business as well as an investment portfolio that's going to serve where you actually want to go. So you end up not arriving after spending years and hours and hours and hours building something that ends up leading you to a path that isn't in alignment. So that brings us into active operating versus passive income. Because we're talking about real estate syndication, there's a couple paths you can go. And because there's a couple paths you can go, it's important to understand, well, which of these options is going to be a fit for me? Which of these options is going to serve me and serve the people that I know, like, and trust? So as we think about active operating, I look at active operating as being the syndicator. You're responsible for putting the deal together. You're responsible for taking the action and doing the work that is going to be required in order to in order to create the opportunity for other people to invest in. So you're responsible for investing time, expertise, and taking that liability risk that's going to end up leading to that deal coming together. You're the person who is going to be in the driver's seat. You're going to make decisions, take the phone calls, and be in a position of control. Now, for some people, that is going to really speak to you. You're somebody who needs to be in control. Now, on the other hand, the other side of the coin is the passive investor. And the passive investors are responsible for investing capital. They invest money and they have no additional responsibilities. They sign the check and they're hands off. They get to sit back and enjoy the ride. They get to do their due diligence up front and select great operators. They get to understand who they're going to be investing with. And they do all of that work up front and they sign that check. And then they get to go back and enjoy their life and enjoy the benefits that come from it. Now, as an active operator, there's some huge advantages. We're going to talk through some of those in a second, but a couple of them is that you are the person who's going out creating the opportunity for others. Now, if you're somebody who wants to be hands-on, you want to be making those decisions, you want to be going out to the property regularly, you want to be taking those phone calls, and you want to be the one building that business, then you want to be active. You want to be the person who is the deal maker. If you're somebody who's really looking for more freedom and flexibility, you want to be the passive investor. So what I'm curious about is, let me know which one is better for you. Which one is better for you? There's no specific answer that's going to be right. There's no right or wrong answer. It's all dependent on what your goals are. And this is why it's so critical to start first with getting clear on where that alignment is. Are you someone who is going to have the skills and capabilities that are going to fit that operator role? Or are you someone who's going to be in a better position to make as much income as you possibly can in your career so that you can take that income and then start passively investing? No right or wrong answer, but there's definitely some better fit depending on your situation. So ask the question, do you have more time than money? And are you interested in being responsible for the project from start to finish? Are you interested in being that person who's in the driver's seat? Or are you someone who has more money than time? Meaning you're in a busy career, or you're really focused on your family, or you're really focused on going out and having fun, and you happen to have more interest in creating more of that freedom, flexibility over building a business, then you're going to be able to see, well, which answer is going to be right for you, right? So active operators, they get to build businesses at scale via the power of partnership. They benefit from the economies of scale, and they benefit from leverage, turning their time and expertise into dollars to exponentially grow their net worth. Huge difference, right? Leverage other people's investments in order to be able to leverage, turn their time and expertise and relationships into more dollars? Or are you someone who wants to leverage someone else's time, expertise, and relationships in order to receive most of the upside on those deals while taking no credibility or liability risk? You know, and the truth is, passive investors typically get 60 to 80% of the profits go to you as the passive investor or the limited partner. And so this is why it's critical to understand what you want and why you want it. There's no right or wrong answer. Being an active operator is a phenomenal business. One of the big upsides is that you end up making a higher return percentage because you're investing so much time, effort, energy that you're investing a smaller dollar amount, but you're getting a higher rate of return. But for a passive investor, for somebody who doesn't want to be involved in the business every single day, it's a no-brainer to be investing capital and focusing your effort and energy elsewhere. So what do you want? Why do you want it? Which path will you choose? Let us know in the chat. Curious to understand from the people who are here, which direction are you in, and which direction are you going? So I'm seeing a lot of passive investing. I'm seeing the interest of kind of going down that path. Got a great question here. Would it be reasonable to start as a passive income investor to learn the business and then transition to operating? I have a ton of clients who start investing in our opportunities with the intention of moving over to active. They invest passively because they have the income, because they're busy in their career, And they think that maybe going the active route as they retire from their current career might be a good option to keep them busy, to keep them focused, to have fun and out in the community. But they want to start getting some of that experience passively first. It's a great option. I also know a lot of folks who go that option and then realize, wow, active investing is a ton of work. I don't want to go that path. So, great way to get going, great way to get started, and great way to kind of dip your foot in the water. Is this something that I want to invest my life's work into understanding and being, the operator? Personally, I do both. I am an active investor first and foremost. I spend 80% of my time actively investing, 20% of my time high performance coaching. And I invest passively into a number of deals with other sponsors, syndicators, because I see the benefit that comes from taking my capital and investing it outside of the areas that I'm personally invested in. However, at the same time, Von Finch invests in multiple different cities, and we unite in partnership with different management partners on the ground that give us that leverage to be able to create diversification within our own portfolio as well. So I do both. I think there's a huge benefit in both. And some of you guys may end up starting out passive and deciding to go active as well. Great way to go. So once you're clear on what you want and why you want it, we've spent some good time getting clear on that. And the reason why that is, again, is without a clear decision of what your outcome is going to look like, it's going to be very difficult for you ever to actually get where you want to go. So once we know what we want to find people who can help us get it. So how do we do that? Well, we do that through leveraging expert partners, coaches, and mentors. So what does this mean? Well, an expert coach, an expert partner, an expert mentor are people who've been down the path. They have seen this. They've built the business. They've got the experience in the market. They understand how to go out and find deals. They understand how to go do all the work and effort that's going to go into building this business. And if you're passive, you're going to invest with them. If you want to be active, you're going to find a way to add value to the world. I'm going to talk about the power of partnership in a second, but it's critical to be bringing experienced people into your world and your life. Why? You're showing up to this presentation here. You're learning from someone who's been through this, some experience. You're applying those thoughts and methodologies into your thoughts so that you can actually start creating some of the same outcomes. We'll talk about mindset in just a second as well. But it's critical to be able to leverage other people's experience to be able to help grow your own. And so this is why I love syndication. It's through the power of partnership. Because as a syndicator, as an operator, someone who's going out and finding deals and putting deals together and asset managing and raising capital, what I get the opportunity to do is unite a number of people together into creating the deal. I get to bring amazing, creative, individuals who have experience in local markets together with passive investors who have capital, but want to be hands off together into a deal to be able to create profit that we get to share. Passive investors get 60, 80% of the upside. The operators get paid based on success. Becomes a very powerful united force that we can go out and do. And what's great about syndication, what's great about large commercial real estate versus some of the single families that you might be able to go and own is that it allows for enough of the deal to go around to make sense to partner. It doesn't make sense to go out and buy, a duplex in Burnsville for $250,000 and, put all of your capital into one deal if that's all the capital you have. And then you have to go and manage it and take care of all the responsibilities, even if you have a property manager in place. Now, when you go buy 250 units, it's very different because now you have enough of a deal to go around that you can bring in different experts and expertise. And through that power of partnership, you're able to get a lot of leverage. And so the most important thing to find when it comes to getting started in syndication is the right sponsor. And the sponsor is the person who leads the team. They're the person who makes the decisions. They're the person who puts the team together. I'm a sponsor, and I go out and find great opportunities, and I bring those different pieces together. Now, you as someone who wants to be active, you want to get associated and connected with great sponsors that you can bring value to. And this is why partnership's so important is when you're deciding what direction you want to go, you want to think, hey, how can I be of value or service to another person? So as a passive investor, you're bringing capital. As an active and someone who's up and coming and new to this space, you have to think to yourself, what can I do that is going to make an impact on someone else's life? That is experience, that's got years or decades in the industry. Now, there's a couple different roles you can play. You can go out and find deals. So you can bring deals to those sponsor teams and you can have an opportunity to participate. You can bring experience or time. Maybe you asset manage, maybe you do some administrative, maybe you fly out and check out properties. There's some different things you can do on the due diligence side. And then of course you can bring capital. You can bring those relationships and experience to the table alongside some of that management expertise to be able to get involved with great operators. Now, that's immense value. The passive investors are bringing immense value. And so together, you're looking to find a great sponsor to work with, someone to be able to unite, to be able to create a great team. And it really comes down to betting on the jockey, not the horse. And so why is this so important? Well, you have to think that if you're horse racing and you're going to be making some bets, you're going to be looking to decide, hey, where am I going to limit my risk and exposure when I'm making these bets? How am I going to have the highest likelihood of success? Well, I'm going to find a jockey that has a great track record of winning, that has a lot of experience in this space, and that is going to be able to go find the right horse that they're going to put their entire race on. They're not going to want to risk their experience and their track record racing a horse that is not going to do a great job. But a great sponsor is exactly the same way. A great sponsor is not going to risk their track record experience onto a deal that's not going to serve. So that's why we want to bet on the jockey and not the horse. And so sponsors work with teams, and those teams are made of experts in each area that's needed to successfully close a deal. And we at Von Finch, my firm, we create powerful teams of proven experts, which is why we're so successful at doing our deals. And so if you want to get started in the space and you want to be active, you need to start learning some of these things. You need to start learning the lingo, start learning how deals come together, and then you need to be a part of one of those great teams. And so let's talk about how an actual deal is sourced and closed, so that you guys can wrap your head around this. And then we're going to get into a discussion here. We're going to be looking to answer some questions and to be able to, discuss some of the things that we're talking about here at the end. So a deal really starts with finding the deal. And so where do those deals come? They come from brokers. Brokers are a part of the team. A member of the team is going to be focused on acquisitions. They're going to be working with those brokers. And as the deals come in, they're going to be evaluating that team. So the sponsor team, the underwriter, is going to be evaluating those opportunities, and they're going to be turning through them. And eventually they're going to find a deal that works. It takes thousands of deals to find a handful of deals that are going to really be able to produce the kind of returns that we're looking for. And so once we have that deal, we're going to go through a process to, work through all the legal. We're going to fund the deal. We're going to work with our lenders. We're going to work with the debt service providers, the mortgage brokers, and we're going to work with our passive investors to be able to fund the deal and do our due diligence. Now, after that, really before that, but we're going to solidify our business plan, and we're going to fix up the property after we close on it. And we're going to fill that property with qualified tenants. So the biggest risk, I believe, during most syndications is the selection of the deal, making sure there's good understanding, and then the ability to execute that business plan. So when you have a value add deal, which is mostly what we are talking about when we're talking about syndication, within this sector of the real estate community, is that we're looking to add value to the property. We're looking to renovate it. We're looking to increase rents. We're looking to decrease expenses. It all comes down to execution and management. And so it's super critical to have the right team to be able to execute and do these things. And all of these things are coordinated by the sponsor. They're all coordinated by great sponsors. And so it takes a team of experts to succeed in syndication. And the key lesson here is you got to align yourself with expert operators, expert sponsors, regardless of the path you're going to go. You need to be aligned with experts. So it looks like there's a couple questions here. I want to answer them live as we're going. Can I find a good operator from whom I want to learn the syndication business? How can I find that person? Great question. How do you go and find a great sponsor? Well, the way that you find a great sponsor, it comes down to, one, getting familiar with their track record, their experience, and the track record of the team that they've assembled. Great sponsors are going to bring together great people that have done hundreds, if not thousands of units of deals, that have that experience directly managing and going through the process of getting to know that person. It's listening to their content, it's reading their proposals, it's speaking to them on the phone, and it's going through a pretty detailed due diligence process to understand, hey, is this somebody who's going to be a fit? Now, a lot of the investors we work with, they've gotten familiar with us, they're comfortable with us, they understand our methodology, and they invest with us quite quickly, which is phenomenal. And they do that because we go through such a deep due diligence process on the team members that we work with that they feel comfortable because they know the level of depth that we go to. And so if you're looking to get started as an active operator, you need to go out and find people that you can learn from. So you need to get out networking, connecting out in the world and start meeting people and then thinking through, hey, how can I add value to their world? How can I add value to their world? And to be able to get going in that space. And so as we're thinking about aligning ourselves with experts, we have to ask ourselves, well, what do all successful people have in common? What are they doing differently than those who try and fail? And how can you use those same lessons to create success and to be able to create those same results? And to be honest, that's what's really led me down this path. And it's led me to becoming obsessed with understanding how we can think better, how we can be better, and how we can do better, all with the idea of understanding, what do those super achievers think and believe? And then I've personally brought those beliefs into my life, and I recommend that you bring some of those beliefs into yours, right? To change the way that you think so that you can start interacting at the same level as some of these high-performing sponsors so that you can have an opportunity not only to invest alongside them, but also to potentially work alongside them as well. And so if you're interested in learning how to think wealthy, how to invest like the wealthy by upgrading your mindset and strategy, then I'm going to recommend you guys go to investormindset.com/listen and go and subscribe to the show. Put out 2 episodes a week. It's phenomenal. I think you guys will love it. And it's really powerful. And one of the things we do is we talk about mindset on that show. We talk a lot about investing. We dive deeper into some of the things we've talked about here today, but mindset is simply just the thoughts and beliefs that we hold that end up lead directly to the actions we take and therefore the outcomes we experience. And what's great about this is that by changing our mindset, we can actually change the outcome that we experience because we change the actions that we're actually doing. So if you want to get started in this business, regardless of the path you're going to go, you need to get your mind in the right place. And mindset is the foundation. It's not a silver bullet, right? So we need to address that up front. Some people hear mindset and they think, that's not going to solve it for me. The truth is it's that first layer that we need to build everything else off of. So we need to get our mind in the right place so that we can get clear on what we want, so we can go out and find people who can help us get there so that we can actually take the actions necessary to succeed. So it comes down to mindset plus strategy equals success. And so with that, I'd love to open it up, get into question discussions. I know there's been a few questions that have come in, so I'll start addressing those now. If you guys are interested in going down the passive investing route, then I've got a great resource here, investormindset.com/passive. It's a 52-page guide, a passive investor playbook that kind of walks you through some of the things that you need to know in order to succeed when it comes to passive investing. So let me dive into some of the questions that I've seen kind of popping in here into the chat box. A question that I often hear when it comes to going out and finding deals is, what do you think about reaching out to owners directly to get off-market deals? And the answer is that I think reaching out directly to owners can be a great way to get deals. It's the way that I bought 200 plus properties in 3 years. All was direct to owner. The difference in the large commercial multifamily space is that brokers have been reaching out to these owners. There's so few properties in comparison with the number of single family homes in a market that brokers all know the operators. They all are reaching out to all these owners. They're having these relationships, and they're constantly being pitched that their property is worth more than it's actually going to be listed for. So here's a great example. 288 unit property, Jacksonville, Florida. We purchased it just under 33 million all in. The broker who ended up bringing the deal, we did buy it off market, but the broker who got the deal had been reaching out to this owner for years. They had been building that relationship for years. And their job as the broker is just to make that small percentage. So they're hustling. They're telling the owner things that are maybe true. And the broker has an advantage that you don't, that they're going to go and shop your deal to multiple different people. And so I think it's quite possible. It's more simple and more achievable to go direct to seller on smaller multifamily deals, mid-size multifamily, below 40 unit or mid-size 40 to 80 unit. I think you have a little bit more possibility, more of the mom and pop owners in that space than in the, going and buying a 30 or $50 million deal. But what we've found is that simply through building great relationships with brokers, getting to know owners within a market, that we can start to build a track record locally that ends up giving us the chance to winning a deal. A deal in Denver, which I'm really excited about. This is just an incredible deal. We just got under contract, so it's going to be something we're going to be working on very soon. But it is, it's been owned since 1975, same owner. We're talking about nearly 50 years of ownership. And that owner, we didn't have a personal relationship with, our team didn't. However, we had a relationship with the brokers. And so it was brought to 8 different groups. We moved very quickly, and they knew that we had a track record of closing, and that we knew we had a track record of being able to execute a deal like this. So what did that end up leading to? We won the deal. We put, $500,000 hard day one. We did all of our due diligence up front, and we were able to win that deal as a result of working with that broker and building that relationship in advance. And that's one of the reasons why you want to work with experienced teams. It's one of the reasons that investors are going to be excited about that deal, is that deal hasn't traded in 50 years. And there's not a lot of large syndicated real estate in Denver because there's not a lot of large apartments that were built pre-1990. So most of the apartments that are owned by very large institutional investors. And this is the type of deal that is going to move extremely quickly as a result. And so I share all of that just to illustrate kind of what you want to be thinking about from either of the seats that you're going to sit in, active or passive, to understand when you're seeing deals, where are they coming from? How are they coming? And most likely they're going to be coming through a broker, even if it's not being seen by a lot of other people. So, another question here that I got is, and I'd love any other questions from you guys that are here as well. So if any more come in, we'll kind of wrap up on those. But do you have any mindset books that you recommend? Well, there's a ton of great books. It depends really on the purpose that you guys are looking to accomplish. One of the books that I'm really excited about is a book called High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Came out a couple of years ago. It's a book that I continue to go back to. One of the benefits of this book is that they did a pretty in-depth research study to understand what are the habits that high performers are executing and doing on a consistent basis. And then they give you some specific strategies and steps that you can take that even without a coach to support you through implementing some of these things, you can do on your own. You can do some self-coaching. There's some worksheets. There's some things that go along with it that are really powerful that'll help you take your life and business to another level. The other book that has been really impactful lately, it's not a real estate book, but it's absolutely a mindset book. There's a little bit of a spirituality essence in it, but it's a book called The Untethered Soul from a guy named Michael Singer. At the core of this book, the reason why I bring it up during the mindset section or as a powerful business book for business leaders is it's this idea of surrendering to and accepting whatever's happening in the moment. So let me give you a little bit of an example of why that's powerful. Because when you're going out and you're offering on hundreds of properties a year, and you're winning only on a handful of them, and things can get pretty contentious. One of the key strategies, the key shifts that he talks about here is this idea of accepting things as they are, right? Not letting yourself get emotionally caught up, not letting yourself go down this path of kind of spinning or getting taken out of the moment. It's being able to really truly let go of that attachment to needing that deal to win. And the result is you end up showing up in your business as a leader from a much stronger place. You end up showing up from a place where you can negotiate knowing your limit and being able to hold the line on precisely what you're capable of. And so what's powerful about this is this guy happens to be a big spiritual leader, but he also built a $1 billion company that was eventually acquired, WebMD. And so this guy lived from this place of kind of frou-frou spirituality, doesn't really speak to a lot of business people, but then you end up realizing that these strategies ended up leading him to be able to build in a tremendously impactful business. The other one that I'll leave you guys with to think about is a book called Who Not How. And the core of that book is all about this idea of going out and figuring out what you want and why you want it, and going and finding somebody who's going to help you get there. So it's been something that I've been preaching for a really long time, but I think they've done just a phenomenal job of putting that together into a format that's really going to be able to help serve a lot of people, because it really simplifies that idea. Like I mentioned, I got a couple resources for you guys. If you guys are looking to go down the active path, I recommend you grab the 5 success principles, kind of bring you through a process of being able to apply some of the strategies we talked about today to really be able to get clear and go down that path. You know, it's a free resource as well. It's probably one of our most successful and most talked about resources that we have available kind of at no cost. So it looks like I have one more question here, if anyone else wants to add one. Otherwise, we're going to wrap up here in just a second. But if I want to get more information, acquire a sponsor from your team, what are you guys looking for and what do you need? Okay, so here's a great question Richie is asking, and I think if I understand it, if I understand it correctly, I'm taking this from the perspective that you want to be active. Type in the chat box, let me know, yes, I want to be active, or no, I'm looking to kind of go down the passive route, so I can answer that a little more clearly. But the way that I'm hearing it is, the question is, how can I go out and find sponsors? Now you're talking about me specifically, but I'm going to take a step back and explain from a higher level perspective if you want to go down that active route. When it comes to working with and adding value to experienced teams, you have to then figure out, well, what are you the best at? So there's this concept called unique ability, superpower, if you will. There's a ton of different information on it. There's a ton of different ideas that are around and supporting this concept. But at the core of it, it's understanding what are you the best at and what are you better at than anyone else, and what is really your superpower. So for me, I'm phenomenal at taking very complex concepts, breaking them down, making them seem super simple so that anybody can understand them and feel comfortable and confident to make decisions based on them. I'm great at helping people get super clear so they can make easy decisions and therefore be able to move forward. Now you can understand why both of those are powerful when it comes to both investing and working with people who are interested in investing, as well as working with people who are looking to take their life to another level, because they both allow people to be able to elevate by getting super clear and then making that decision. Now, for you, maybe you're someone who's super analytical. Maybe you're really good at numbers. Maybe you're somebody who's just a hustler. You got a lot of energy. You want to get out. You want to go and really be able to just do whatever it takes to be able to get something done. Maybe there's some other skill that you have. You want to sit down, you want to brainstorm and get clear on what that value proposition you have is. And as you get more clear on this industry, you can understand what roles would be available on a team. Now, we sometimes have opportunities for people to add value to our team. And the way people often will do that is they'll be out there hustling to go find deals, and they'll bring opportunities to us that they've pre-vetted. They've gone through the process, they've vetted the opportunity, they've built their relationship with brokers, maybe they're seeing things off market, and they've kind of got that alignment of interest. that they can actually come in and have an opportunity to bring a deal, and we'll operate it and bring it forward. Now, why I am talking about this generally is because there's a lot of different sponsors who have a lot of different needs. And once you can understand what yours are, then you can start to understand, where do those needs come into alignment? Where can you find a way to be of value and service? And I really recommend that when you're getting started, you actually start from a place of bringing value without expectation of anything in return. Meaning, maybe you're joining a deal, but you're actually not getting paid. Maybe you're referring investors to invest in a deal, but you're not participating in that deal. Maybe you're investing capital in the deal, which you are actually adding value and you will get paid on that. However, you're finding a way to get in alignment and get connected to that person. Another way, obviously, is through coaching and mentorship. You can invest in coaching and mentorship, and through that relationship, you can build a closer connection that can end up getting you to have that opportunity to get involved. So super, super important. If you're looking to go down the passive side, so just to answer that question for all those passive investors that are listening, the best way is to go out and find people like myself who are out sponsoring deals and bringing opportunities forward. It's to get integrated on their list, to speak with them and get familiar with what their process is. And if you're a good fit, are you accredited? Are you not? Do they offer non-accredited deals? We do, and we do not. Most of our deals are for accredited investors only. But you get in alignment, you get connected, and you find people who have shared values that you can feel when you're getting started. And to be clear on the accredited investor status, there's a SEC designation, but the simple version of it, there's a couple other things that I'm going to exclude, but you guys can look it up. $200,000 a year earning if you are single, $300,000 a year if you are married for 2 years in a row, or you have over $1 million of net worth, excluding your personal residence, or you have some type of securities license or designation, right? Series 7, Series 62, Series whatever it might be. Those are some ways that you can be considered a accredited investor. So once you're making that kind of money, or you have that kind of net worth, you're accredited, you can start investing in bigger deals with different types of operators, but there's plenty of opportunities for non-accredited investors as well. But it's great serving you guys, really great being here. Glad to be able to bring you guys some value and to be able to speak to you. I highly encourage, one of the best ways to get in contact is to go and grab one of these resources. You can obviously head right over to investormindset.com. If you want to get in touch with me directly, I'm available on your favorite social media platform, on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Just shoot on over there and shoot me a direct message. Either myself personally or someone from my team will respond and put you into contact. Just make sure you mention what you're looking for and where we connected, and I'd be happy to serve you guys. So it was great talking with you each today, and I hope you guys take some action. And remember, you learned some new ideas here. You listened to this, you spent time here. So answer the question for yourself: how can I apply this in my life? And what value can I take away from this? There's always an opportunity to learn something. There's always an opportunity to decide what you're going to apply. And this is a great time at the end of a presentation to write something down and make a commitment to it, put it in your calendar and take some action. So appreciate the opportunity to be here. And it was great talking with each and every one of you guys.
Great. Thanks so much, Stephen. So again, I'm Matt Jones. I am going to just share my screen here. And this is all part of the North Star Real Estate Conference, which you can sign up for at northstarunlimited.live and find out more information. We are going to be, if you missed some of this, or if you want to go back and watch some of the video, we are going to upload the video here in the next couple of days to northstarunlimited.live as well. But if you're looking for the conference, it's going to be all about cash flowing real estate. And it's this October 7th and 8th in the Twin Cities. We've got a beautiful facility over at the Mystic Lake Center that we're going to be using, and the prices right now are the lowest that they're going to be. So if you're looking to sign up now because they're going to go up, I think tomorrow. So anyway, if you'd like to reach out to Stephen, his website that he mentioned before, the Investor Mindset, is a great place to do that. So I highly encourage you to. It's amazing actually how few of people actually reach out to speakers after these kind of events. So if you do reach out, you're going to be memorable. So do that. So thanks everybody. I appreciate you taking the time to join us today, and have a fantastic rest of your day.